On a gorgeous Saturday morning here at Mustang Stadium, we have boys soccer action for you today. It's going to be a tough one for the Mustangs as the West Prairie Mustangs will take on the undefeated Northern York Polar Bears. Northern York heading into this one, they are 8-0-1 overall. And the Mustangs are 3-5-2 overall, 2-4-2 in the Mid-Penn Colonial Division, and the Polar Bears are perfect 8-0 in the Mid-Penn Colonial Division. Their lone tie for the Polar Bears was this past Monday on the road against Hershey that ended in a 1-1 tie. But other than that, the Northern York Polar Bears have been dominating the opposition all season long. Heading into their 10th game this season, the Polar Bears have outscored their opponents 58-4. They only given up 4 goals all season, and Northern York is coming off a 9-1 victory at home against Big Spring last Thursday. For the Mustangs, they are coming off a tough 1-0 loss on Thursday on the road at Greencastle Antrim. Northern York is just one of 3 undefeated teams in District 3 AAA, and we're going to get the starting lineups announced here by our public address announcer, Matt Rudy.
Hello, and welcome this morning to the West Prairie High School for today's matchup between the Northern Polar Bears and your West Prairie Mustangs. We would like to remind you that at West Prairie, sportsmanship is an expectation. So please, let the players play. Let the coaches coach, let the officials officiate, and let the spectators be positive. We also remind you that masks are expected to be worn inside the stadium, and we ask that you are practicing social distancing. Restrooms are available for spectators at the east end of the stadium in the white brick building. The porta potties are for the athletes only. And now for today's lineups. For the visiting Polar Bears, we have junior goalkeeper Josh Hoffman, senior defensive back Cody Patterson, junior defensive back Logan Bruner, senior playing defense Ian Hall. Also playing defense we have senior Caleb Joden. In the midfield, we have senior Spencer Sivling. In the midfield, we have senior Ashton Davies. We also have senior in the midfield, Connor Swope. On defense, we have Caleb Brown, who's a senior. We also have a forward, senior Shepard Soyson. And senior forward, Aiden Romano. And they are coached by Gaz Davies and Brooks Kalushi. And for the Mustangs, we have senior number 11 midfielder Grant Bowles. Senior goalkeeper number 0, Devin Reichenbach. We have in the midfield, number 19, junior Evan Albright. We have a pair of forwards, juniors, number 10, Dante Badia, and number 3, Johnny Clegg. On defense, we have a pair of juniors, number 25, Jimmy Frank, and number 20, Brant Fritz. Also playing defense, number 24, junior Trace Riesinger. Filling out the midfield, we have sophomores number 22, Garrett Bartlow, and number 7, Bryce Torok. And rounding out the starting lineup, we have defensive back sophomore number 6, Josiah Twig. And they're coached by Coach Wiley, Coach Ank, Coach Foose, And today, our athletes are cared for athletic trainer Coach McCrory.
We will apologize to those watching at home and fans due to copyright infringements for YouTube policy. We're not allowed to have live music, and that includes the national anthem, which just concluded here at Mustang Stand. We do apologize for that. That is not a West Prairie rule, that is a YouTube rule. So here we are for Northern York and the West Prairie Mustangs. Boys soccer here on this gorgeous Saturday morning. Not a cloud in the sky. A little chilly to start. Temperatures in the mid to 50s, mid to upper 50s. Should warm up later today, up to the mid 60s. And we are underway here at Mustang Stadium. Northern York in white, West Prairie in the green. You heard the starting lineups for both teams. Northern York. This is the second meeting between the two teams. Earlier this season, over at Dillsburg, the Polar Bears recorded a 3-0 shutout victory against the Mustangs. Northern York is just one of 3 undefeated teams in the PIAA District 3 AAA. Also undefeated are Susquehanna and Lower Dauphin. Both those teams first and second place respectively in the PIAA AAA power rankings for District 3. Northern York right behind them in third. And the top 8 teams in the AAA District 3 playoffs this year due to a shortened season. Normally we have 16 teams, but they cut the first round, cutting the teams in half from 16 to 8 this year due to a shortened season. West Prairie currently 21st in the AAA power rankings in District 3. Good look at attack early on here by the Polar Bears. This is Caleb Brown and Logan Brunner's. Logan Brunner's pass gets intercepted there. Here come the Mustangs. In 9 games so far this year for the Polar Bears, they have recorded 5 shutouts. The last game wasn't a shutout, there was a 9-1 and a big shot here by Northern York. And it goes off the top of the crossbar for a West Prairie goal kick. The shot was by Connor Swope. And they're going to say it was deflected off a West Prairie defender, so this is going to be a corner opportunity here for the Polar Bears. Swope with the corner, and a good header by Caleb Brown, but it's off the goalpost here. And this will definitely be a West Prairie goal kick. Devin Rackenbach, the goalkeeper for the Mustangs. So thank everyone at home for joining us here on West Prairie Athletic Department's YouTube page. I'm Alex Wall, bringing you the play-by-play commentary for this very intriguing boys soccer matchup. West Prairie 2-4-2 in the Mid-Penn Colonial Division. Northern York a perfect 8-0 in the same division. Go across here to Swope, senior captain for the Polar Bears, as well as Spencer Sifferling, two team captains for Northern York. Here is Sifferling. Pass down to Caleb Jordan. Back to Sifferling. And that's pass intercept there by Evan Albright for the Mustangs. Throwing here coming up for the Mustangs. Evan Albright to throw it in. Excuse me, that ball was thrown to Evan Albright. And that's Trace Riesinger getting intercepted well there by the Polar Bears. Pass intended for Shepard Soyson. He's intercepted. This is Sifferling, midfielder and a captain for Northern. And a free kick given here. And quick work here for Sifferling. Pass it to Swope. West Prairie coming off a tough 1-0 loss, on the road in their last game at Greencastle. They'll be looking for a big upset here. West Prairie, definite underdogs, heading into this key matchup. Throwing here for Northern. Throw it into Swope. Throw in by Logan Bruner. There's Evan Albright looking for Johnny Clegg. Johnny Clegg has been doing pretty well this season, especially here at home. Pass here to Caleb Brown. Brown looking upfield. Finds Sifferling, and Sifferling's shot gets well saved. Easy save here for Rackenbach. Rackenbach with a huge high, and deep kick. And this is Dante Padilla. Pass into Albright, and this is Garrett Bartlow now with the ball. Easy save there for the goalkeeper, Josh Hoffman, goalkeeper for Northern York Polar Bears. Stopped there by Josiah Twig. Northern York once again gets the ball right back. Goal kick here as Ashton Davies' shot goes wide of the net. It's a goal kick here for the Mustangs. Rackenbach, he knows he'll have a a lot of work to do in this one to hopefully secure a victory for the Mustangs. As Northern York, they have outscored their opponents 58-4. They've only given up 4 goals all year so far in 9 games. One of those goals let go from Northern York was just this past Thursday. Northern is coming off a 9-1 victory against Big Spring. Good opportunity there for Grant Bowles, first time I mentioned his name in the game. And Northern York defense once again all over it. There's a good attack here from Northern, and a shot by Connor Swope. First shot on goal of the game for either team. That comes just only 9 minutes into the game. That goes by net for a goal kick. Pass looking for Swope. Gets intercepted there. This is Padilla. Passes it to Bartlow. Bartlow possibly looking for Johnny Craig, but it was a 5-on-2 situation for the Mustangs. Swope crossing it downfield. And nice cross gets blocked there. That's going to be a Northern York corner kick. This is the second corner coming up for the Polar Bears. Ashton Davies to deliver the corner. Here's the formation here for the Polar Bears. Davies with the corner on the way. And here's the shot by Caleb Brown, and a nice save there for Reichenbach. We are 10 minutes into this one, still scoreless. Okay, here's Dante Padilla. Passes Johnny Craig and Craig back to Padilla. And Padilla gets there, gets defended well. This is the second meeting between the Polar Bears, and here's a good run. Stop there. Ashton Davis with a big run. Gets stopped by the Mustangs defense. This is the second meeting this season between the Polar Bears and the Mustangs. Good opportunity here for Caleb Brown for a cross, and he got 2 Mustangs right there in front of him. Welcome Bruner. Good cross, and a header bounces back. Nothing doing here for Northern. Nice clearance there by Trace Riesinger. Northern York, as expected, has dominant on possession for the first 10 minutes. And not a bad idea for Dante Padilla to go right after a ball. He gets rewarded with a Mustang free kick. No, this has got to be a throw-in for the Mustangs. And defended well there by Ian Hall. Ball back to Caleb Childen. Pass here to Bruner. Bruner has been all over the field here today, defending and on the attack. Not a bad idea, looking for Ashton Davies. But nice defense here for the Mustangs. The Mustangs have been doing pretty well on defense throughout this entire season. Once again, Northern York undefeated through 9 games. They are 8-0-1. Their lone tie was this past Monday on the road at Hershey. Two powerhouse programs, Northern York and Hershey, held to a 1-1 tie. And Ian Hall was looking for a good attack and gets intercepted there by Bartlow. Passes it to Charlie Clegg. Evan Albright's pass. Nice interception here by Ashton Davies. Here is Davies now. Or no, excuse me. This is number 16, Shepard Soyson. This is Dante Padilla. And he's looking for Grant Bowles possibly, but Bowles runs away from the ball. And this is a good attack here, and nice defense by Trace Riesinger. And it's going to be a third corner opportunity for Northern York. Corner is away, and nice job. Good job by James Frank to kick it out, clear it out of danger. This is Johnny Clegg looking for Garrett Bartlow, and that's easily intercepted. This is Bryce Turok looking for a deep pass to Johnny Clegg possibly. Gets stopped there by Josh Hoffman. Logan Bruner passes it to Spencer Severling. Severling passes to Swope. Two team counts working well together. This is Davies. Back to Soyson. And Soyson gets attacked well by Albright. This is Garrett Bartlow looking for Dante Padilla, and Padilla gets stopped by Severling right there. Turok. Nothing doing here for the Mustangs. This is Davies. Davies has done pretty well on possession. We're 15 minutes into the game. Still scoreless, 0-0. And by the way, these two teams are playing throughout the season. This is not going to end in a scoreless tie, I can assure you. And Reichenbach with the ball here. Reichenbach with a high kick. Stopped there by Logan Bruner. And this is Soyson. Soyson looking for a polar bear there. He was looking for Connor Swope and defended well there by the Mustangs. Yeah, passes it to Charlie Clegg here for the Mustangs. Clegg looking for Evan Albright, and Albright passes it back to Garrett Bartlow. Bartlow back to Albright. And Albright, well defended, has to force to stand back. A big mistake here by the Mustangs. And here's a good attack for Shepard Soyson. Back to Soyson here. The shot is blocked by Josiah Twig. And Twig is able to get the ball back. Pass to Johnny Craig. Craig looking for Padilla. Padilla with a good opportunity there, and it's stopped by Cody Patterson. Pass here for Caleb Brown. Passing it to Davies. Davies gets stopped there. Nice tackle. Excuse me, that was Soyson. Soyson's a little slow to get up. Bad attack here. And cleared away by Trace Rieslinger. Substitution coming in now for the Polar Bears. A throw in here for Northern. Yep, they're calling it a throw in. Logan Bruner to throw in. Looking for a deep pass, but he passes short to Soyson. Back to Bruner. Bruner with a cross. A couple of headers all around, and that's going to go out for a Mustang goal kick. Devin Rackenbach kicking away for the Mustangs. Goes over the head of Evan Albright and into the legs of Connor Swope. And a free kick is given here to Northern. Free kick from the 40. Right in front of the net. A header here by Soyson. And we are halfway through the first half. 20 minutes left. Still scoreless, 0-0. Nice shot there by Padilla. He passed it to Grant Bowles. Bowles looking for Johnny Clegg. And this is a good attack here for the Mustangs, and that's going to be a throw-in for West Perry. Grant Bowles looking for a throw-in. He's got Johnny Clegg in front of him. He's got Bryce Turrock up there with him. He throws it into Johnny Clegg, and Clegg is stopped right there in his tracks. Connor Swope pass it to Soyson. Soyson, a big tall boy for Northern York. Soyson has been doing well in possession, especially getting the shots off. But we're still scoreless. 18:45 left in the first half. This is a throw in here for the Polar Bears. Logan Bruner. That ball is cleared away by Grant Bowles. Here's Caleb Joden. Pass back to Jordan from Connor Swope. And Bowles able to make the interception there for the Mustangs. This is Garrett Bartlow, and instead Padilla is going to kick it out for a Polar Bear throw. 18 minutes left here in the first half. Nice drop there by Johnny Craig to get it to Bartlow. Bartlow passes to Donnie Padilla. Padilla gets stopped by Davies. Nice drop there for Bartlow to get that ball out. This is the shot by Caleb Jordan, and easy save here for Reichenbach. West Perry is still looking for their first shot on goal in this one. And a high, fairly short kick here for Reichenbach. Right, passes to Grant Bowles, and nice job here by Bowles, and Bowles gets stopped by Childen. Childen passes it to Soyson, cleared away by West Perry. This is Bruner. Pass it to Silverling. Back to Soyson. Soyson defended well there by Evan Albright. Soyson forced to send it back to Childen. Try and pass it to Swope. And this is a good looking opportunity for Northern York. Nice job there by Silverling to keep the ball in. And it's got to be a throw in for Northern York. Throwing here to Soyson. Back to Bruner, and a header off the crossbar. A great opportunity there. That's the second time that the ball has hit off the post. And Northern York coming out on fire here with 15.5 minutes left. And that cross goes out for a West Perry goal kick. West Perry, despite not doing so well in offense, the Northern York Polar Bear defense has been dominating on possession. The West Perry defense is keeping the game scoreless, 0-0. Can't ask for much more against one of the best teams in District 3. This is Padilla. Looking for Johnny Clegg. Gets intercepted. This is Dante Padilla. Padilla gets stopped by Bruner. This is number 2, Zach French, who just came into the game for Northern York, junior forward. And nice shot there by Bowles to stop French in his tracks. And that's going to be a goal kick. Northern York bringing 3 subs in, and West Perry bringing in 1 right now. Number 12, Ethan Dodson comes in for the Mustangs. Number 23, Aiden Troutman in for Northern. This is a good run by Swope. Swope looking for number 9, Silverling. That goes out for a West Perry goal kick. This pass is to Silverling. Silverling for Soyson. Soyson passes it to Swope. Good attack here by Swope, and it gets stopped by Evan Albright. This is Padilla. Padilla looking for Dodson, excuse me. And it's a free kick for Northern. Mustang Stadium. windy here in Mustang Stadium. All of a sudden it starts getting really windy. I might play a factor here for both teams. That wind just came out of nowhere and it goes away. And this is going to be a free kick. Good opportunity here for Northern York. Right at the 10-yard line. This is Caleb Joden with a free kick. Only one Mustang right in front of him. That is Dodson. Now Bryce Turok comes in to build a Mustang wall. Free kick here by Joden. And that gets past everybody. Looked like Sifferling was looking for the ball. And West Prairie coming up with a substitution here. Johnny Clegg is now back in for the Mustangs. There's Evan Albright. Pass to Garrett Bartlow. Bartlow looking for Clegg, and another pass here for Johnny Clegg. And Clegg gets stopped right there by the Polar Bears. This is number 21, Garrett White. The Mustangs earlier today, before this game, the JV squad, the West Prairie Mustangs had a nice 1-0 win against Northern York. So we'll see if the Mustangs will sweep the day here against the almighty Polar Bears from Northern York. Here's the pass here to French, looking for Soyson. Soyson bouncing around, and a shot by Connor Swope, and that just goes off the post for a goal kick. Less than 10 minutes now here in the first half, and who would ever saw this coming? Northern York has been dominating their opponents 58-4 all season, but we are knotted up here at 0-0. Clegg passes it to Evan Albright, back to Bartlow. Bartlow's pass gets stopped. And this is Bartlow looking for Dodson. Nothing doing here. West Prairie has been stopped to its limit. No shots for the Mustangs so far in this game. Northern York has been dominating on possession. Very rarely that the Mustangs got the ball on the other side of the field. But still, West Prairie defense has been doing fairly well against one of the best teams in District 3. Northern York is undefeated, ladies and gentlemen, through 9 games. Pass intended for Soyson is stopped, and this is Swope. Swope pass it to White. Garrett White, who played on the JV team for Northern York in the first game today, he's here playing in the varsity level. This is Jordan. Jordan looking for Soyson. Soyson gets defended well there. And it's going to be a throw-in for the Polar Bears. Jordan with a huge throw-in right in front of net and gets stopped by the Mustangs, at least momentarily. Another cross here for Jordan. Looking for number 20, Aiden Romano, and that's going to be a corner opportunity, just the fourth corner for Northern York. That comes with 7 minutes left in the first half. Oh no, they're saying this is a throw in here. We thought they called for a corner. As there was a ball placed right there at the corner. And this is White. And looking for a cross is Soyson. And Jordan unable to get the header up in time. And that's going to be a throw-in for West Perry. The Mustangs bring in another substitution. Evan Albright will step out. And Bryce Turok comes back in for the Mustangs. Nice interception there by Badia. They pass it back to Bowles, and Bowles' pass gets stopped for West Perry throw-in. This is Trace Riesinger off the head of Dodson. Dodson possibly looking for Johnny Clegg in the back. Nice interception there by Garrett Bartlow. And right away, Northern York puts a stop to that attack. West Perry has not had a lot of chances. In fact, they had no chance of scoring a goal as they have 0 shots with 5.5 minutes left here in the first half. Devin Reichenbach has been busy as a goalkeeper for the Mustangs. 3 or 4 shots have been off the bar, off the crossbars or the posts of the net, but still scoreless here with 5 minutes left in the first half. The last time we saw the boys Mustangs at home, they had a thrilling contest against the Shippensburg Greyhounds, but after 2 overtimes, the Mustangs and the Shippensburg Greyhounds were settled with a 2-2 tie. And a nice clearance here for West Perry. Thrown here. This is number 17, Bennett Culliman. Substitution here for the Polar Bears. Number 9, Spencer Silverling comes back in, and this is Silverling with the ball. Passing it to Jordan. Jordan looking for a cross, and a nice stop there by Trace Riesinger. Tripped up there was Soyson. And this is Soyson with a shot. And it goes out for a West Perry goal kick. Langenbach probably feeling a little tired here. He's got 3.5 minutes left in the first half. Still scoreless though, however. West Perry defense has been doing well against a usually high scoring North New York offense. Culliman. Pass here to White. Good attack here for the Polar Bears. This is Sifferling. And that's going to be a free kick for Northern York. 3 minutes left here in the first half. We are still scoreless, 0-0. This is Ashton Davies, who just came back in for the Polar Bears off a substitution. That's probably looking for a substitution coming up here. Davies with a really good free kick opportunity right at the goal line in Mustang Stadium. Credit cross, goes wide the net, past everyone for a West Perry goal kick. And here comes the West Perry substitution. Evan Albright comes back in, replacing Ethan Dodson. And it's a goal kick here for the Mustangs. 2 minutes left here in the first half. We are still scoreless. Big shot here, and that just goes wide off the net. Good opportunity for Northern York. And that was deflected off a West Perry defender. And so the fifth corner kick coming up for Northern. Ashton Davies to deliver the corner. Ashton Davies with the corner, and that Reichenbach able to swap that over. Evan Albright looking for the ball. He gets Johnny Clegg, and back to Albright. This is Ashton Davies. Pass that to Silverling, and back to number 23, Aiden Troutman, and a big shot off of Soyson. Soyson doesn't know where the ball is. It was straight up in front, above him. A big sliding tackle by Davies, and no foul is called here. Good job here by Silverling to get past the West Perry defense, and West Perry looking to clear it out, and that is going to go into the hands of Bennett Culliman. Throwing here for Culliman. Cleared there by Badia. This is Johnny Clegg, who's just looking to get the ball on the other side of the field, and nothing doing here for Josh Hoffman. Josh Hoffman had not a lot of action for Hoffman, the Northern York goalkeeper. And with 5 seconds left, this is going to remain a scoreless game. And that's the first half, ladies and gentlemen. Who would ever expected this? West Perry defense has been on top all over Northern York. Northern York defense, Northern York has dominated on possession in the entire first half. West Perry getting very few chances. West Perry has not had a shot on goal in the first half. And that's going to be a halftime here at Mustang Stadium. We'll be back in 10 minutes for the start of the second half. At halftime, 0-0. You were watching the West Perry boys soccer against Northern York exclusively on the West Perry Athletic Department's YouTube page. We'll be back for the second half. back here for a special halftime report here for West Prairie Boys Soccer. We're heading into the second half, less than 3 minutes away to start the second half. Well, thank everyone at home for joining us. My name is Alex Wall, bringing the play-by-play commentary for this very exciting matchup so far. Despite being a 0-0 scoreless game so far, you gotta wonder about the Northern York Polar Bears, undefeated heading into this one. They are 8-0-1. Their one tie this season was just this past Monday on the road at Hershey. Final scored out on this 1-1. But the Polar Bears usually a very high scoring offense, outscoring their opponents 58-4 through 9 games. But it's the West Prairie defense that has kept this game interesting here, ladies and gentlemen, and very exciting time. Very exciting day for West Prairie, looking for an upset, even though the Northern York Polar Bears, they haven't had much time on defense. Like the goalkeeper for Northern, Josh Hoffman, not having to make any saves because West Prairie has not had a shot on goal in the first half. So you gotta be wondering what Coach Wiley must be saying to his Mustangs right now. With a little over a minute left. Referee starting to get back on the field. Getting ready for the second half. Northern York 8-0-1 overall. Perfect 8-0 in the Mid-Penn Colonial Division action. Northern York is coming off a 9-1 victory at home against Big Spring. This is the second meeting between both teams. Northern York and West Prairie earlier this season met at Dillsburg, and the Polar Bears had a 3-0 victory. Through 9 games so far for Northern York, they have 5 shutouts, and they could be on the verge of their 6th shutout this season. But they still got some work to do here, ladies and gentlemen. This game is far from over. Still got 40 minutes left. And Northern York is just one of 3 undefeated teams in the District 3 AAA. Susquehannock and Lower Dauphin are the other 2 undefeated teams. Susquehannock in first place in the AAA power rankings. Lower Dauphin, second place in the AAA power rankings in District 3. And Northern York is right behind them in 3rd place. Top 8 teams go to the PIAA AAA District 3 playoffs. And Northern York could be on their way there. West Prairie currently in 21st in the power rankings in boys soccer. West Prairie, they have some great defense here, but they're going to get the ball first to start the second half. West Prairie in the green, Northern York in the white. And here we go for the start of the second half. And very quickly here, Northern York, they have to be frustrated. We can't tell how many times they have been held scoreless heading into the second half. So we'll have to see how Northern York responds. And very quickly here, the Polar Bears are on the attack. It's not that West Prairie hasn't been doing well on offense. It's just the Northern York Polar Bears defense has been outstanding so far. This is Ashton Davies. A couple of shots early in this game. And right away, it's a goal kick for David Reichenbach. Reichenbach has been busy throughout this game so far. Langenbach with a long kick. Stopped there by Connor Swope, senior captain for the Polar Bears. And West Perry once again clearing the ball away from Northern York. Pass here for Maddox Davies. First time mentioning his game, he comes in to the game for Northern York. Stopped there by Bryce Turok. This is Trace Reisinger. And his ball goes wide. Bounce for a Polar Bear throw. Cody Patterson throws it to Ian Hall. Hall looking for Davies. Pass intended for Soyson. Looked like a good shot coming from Caleb Brown. That just past him into the hands of Reichenbach. Reichenbach with a high booming kick, possibly looking for Johnny Clegg. And that ball goes past over the head of Clegg. And a nice stop there by Dante Padilla. Padilla passes it to Grant Bowles. Bowles with possession here, and he was looking for Padilla, and stopped there by Sifferling. Once again, like I said earlier, West Perry has been doing well on some attacks, but Northern York just unstoppable at this point. Throw in here for the Polar Bears. This is Davies. Throw in here for Cody Patterson. That gets stopped by Trace Reisinger. Turok. Back to Johnny Clegg. Looking for Grant Bowles. And Bowles' pass gets easily intercepted by Caleb Jordan, who had a couple of shots in the first half. This is Trace Reisinger. And that ball gets kicked out by Cody Patterson. That was Garrett Bartlow. This is James Frank throwing for Mustangs, and that ball goes over the head of Garrett Bartlow. Here's Padilla, pass it to Evan Albright. Albright passes it to Grant Bowles. Bowles passes to Bryce Turok. Back to Bowles. And stopped there by Logan Bruner. Bowles once again. Bowles has not had a lot of possession in this game, just like most of the Mustangs. Good job here by Maddox Davies. Here's Maddox again. And a sliding tackle, and that is going to be a free kick for the Polar Bears. We're just 5 minutes into the second half. A good storyline here in the PIAA District 3. As the Mustangs have held the Polar Bears scoreless. Polar Bears using a very high scoring offense. And Reichenbach jumps and grabs the ball here. Good awareness there by Reichenbach. Reichenbach with a high kick. Overhead Padilla. This is Garrett Bartlow. Looking to go over Cody Patterson. And here's Garrett Bartlow, Garrett Bartlow here, and he gets stopped by Patterson again. The best chance of the game for the Mustangs. This is Grant Bowles. He takes a shot, and that is the first shot of the game for the Mustangs. Even though it was like 35 yards out, it's still a shot. Easy save for Josh Hoffman, the goalkeeper for Northern York. It's Evan Albright. Passing to Bartlow. Bartlow passes to Badia. They're looking for Johnny Clegg. And the Mustangs, they've been on the aggressive side so far here in the second half. Finally getting their first shot on goal. This is Garrett Bartlow passing to Bryce Turok. Back to Albright. This is Grant Bowles. And Bowles passes it to Riesinger. This one passes to Clegg. This is Trace Riesinger. First time on the attack. A very good attack here for Trace Riesinger. And it gets stopped by Loken Bruner. Goal kick here for Northern York. Westbury has been attacking well so far here in the second half. One shot on goal, first one of the game, and it comes here early in the second half. And stop there by Brad Fritz. So I mentioned his name today. There's Bryce Turok. Turok looking for Johnny Clegg. Oh no, this is Grant Bowles. Back to Clegg and back to Bowles. Northern York needs to be careful here. This is Grant Bowles. And Bowles is unable to keep it in bounds. That's going to be a goal kick for Northern York. West Perry has been doing well. It seems like Coach Wiley for the Mustangs. Already says something positive to get the Mustangs on fire. So Northern York has been dominating throughout this game in terms of possession, but the Mustangs are getting some attacks here in the second half. This is Sifferling. Passes it to Davies, Ashton Davies. And this is Ashton Davies now, and that's going to get away for a West Perry goal kick. Stefan Rackenbach. Goal kick here. And communication errors by Evan Albright and Bryce Turok. And Albright passes it to Garrett Bartlow. Couple communication errors here for the Mustangs. And throwing here for Cody Patterson. Passes it to Ian Hall. Ball pass here to Caleb Jordan. Soyson back to Swope. Swope bouncing around Albright and Bartlow. And good attack there by Swope. Gets stopped by the West Perry defense. Pass back to Jordan. Jordan's shot gets stopped there. Mustang fans here getting a little irritated by lack of possession. They've been doing very well on defense. See if they can turn around here on offense. This is Badia. Badia passes it back to Bartlow. And almost a good stop there by Badia. And Badia forces the interception. Here is Dante Badia. Good attack here and a tackle, and that's going to be a free kick for West Perry. 30 minutes left here in the second half. Still scoreless. This is Evan Albright with the free kick at their own 45. Deep kick. Nothing doing here for the Mustangs. Header off of Albright. Bryce Turok with the ball, looking for Grant Bowles. Dodson Davies, the head coach for Northern York, He's getting a little irritated with his Polar Bears scoreless here in the second half. Dodson already got to be able to get a goal here. Northern York has not been shut out yet this season. The lowest amount of goals they scored this season was 1, and that was the 1-1 tie this past Monday at Hershey. But other than that, the Polar Bears have outscored their opponents 58-4. A sliding tackle there by the Mustangs. Dangerous call there, but no call is given. That could have been a penalty kick for the Polar Bears. Pass here to Cody Patterson. And Medea was looking for the interception. Gets tipped. Oh, this is Caleb Brown. Defended well there by Grant Bowles. Was looking for recenter. That gets past him. Good shot here for Ashton Davies. Shot there by Davies gets blocked. This could be a good attack here for the Polar Bears. Can't make a mistake here for the Mustangs. Mustangs are able to clear it out. Once again, Westbury defense doing very well against this high-scoring Polar Bear team. This is Maddox Davies looking for a cross off of his brother Ashton. And it's going to be a free kick for Northern York. This is Ashton Davies. Right at the 10-yard line, 20 yards out from the net. A good opportunity here for Northern York to get on the board. Ashton Davies with the cross. And a header off of Soyson. And able to maintain possession is Northern York. Another cross and stopped well there by Evan Albright. Good attack here for the Mustangs. This is Garrett Bartlow. Bartlow looking for Johnny Clegg. And Northern York, they have been doing well on defense throughout this entire game. So has the Mustangs. Garrett Bartlow with the interception. This is Dante Padilla. Back to Bartlow. This is Grant Bowles, passing Turok back to Padilla. Padilla passes to Evan Albright, and Albright was just looking to clear that ball out. Went to the arms of Josh Hoffman. Pass the time for Padilla. This is Evan Albright back to Bowles. Or excuse me, that was Johnny Clegg. Ball gets away from Grant Bowles, and that's going to stay in. A nice job there by Grant, but a shove is called, and that's going to be a free kick for Northern York. "25 minutes left here in the second half. Still scoreless. Free kick just inside the 35-yard line. A long shot, 45 yards out. Places shot by Caleb Jordan, who goes right into the hands of Reichenbach. Reichenbach with a long kick, looking for Johnny Clegg. Here's Turok, back to Padilla. Padilla probably looking for, he had Johnny Clegg open. That could have been a big run for Johnny Clegg, but instead Northern York gets the ball back. Job there by Soyson. Pass attack for Caleb Brown, and that gets cleared away by the Mustangs. Dante Padilla loses it. Dante Padilla gets the ball back here for the Mustangs. This is nothing new here in the second half. Northern York has dominated on possession, not giving up a shot for West Perry. And this is Garrett Bartlow, and Bartlow is stopped by Ian Hall. Mark Davis, a big tackle there by Brent Fritz. And Shepard Soyson is slow to get up for the Polar Bears, but it's a free kick. Free kick here for Ashton Davies. Just inside the 30-yard line. Ashton Davies with the kick. Going right in front of net. A couple of headers by both teams. And Northern York there with the first back and a shot. A great opportunity by Connor Swope. He gets the hand up, and Shepard Soyson was looking for to get the ball in, but it goes past the net. Soyson frustrated, not getting the ball in the net. A great opportunity, probably the best shot for Northern York in this game. But we are still scoreless. What a great save by Devin Reichenbach. A header right to him. Has to dive and gets his hand up for it. Thrown here for Northern. This is Silverling. This is Cody Patterson. Back to Silverling. Silverling for Soyson. You ought to be feeling for Soyson. Had a great opportunity. Nobody in front of him. He could have kicked that ball right in, but he missed the net. Not even a yard away from the net. That was like fourth down and inches in football. You kick the ball and you don't get the touchdown. But instead you don't get the goal. And Northern York still maintains possession here. This is Caleb Jordan. And that pass gets stopped up by Grant Balls. And a shot by Jordan, and that goes wide for the net. Substitution coming in here for West Perry. Number 12, Ethan Dodson comes back in for the Mustangs. Reichenbach with a goal kick. Gets past Dodson. Once again, nothing going here for Northern York. Northern York getting a little frustrated here. And that ball gets past Dante Petito. He thought there was somebody right next to him. But instead, it goes right to Northern York. Wasted opportunity there for West Perry. A nice clearance there. This is Johnny Clegg. Johnny Clegg with a nice attack through in here. Pass to Garrett Bartlow. Back to Johnny Clegg. And looking for Dodson probably. And Northern York gets the ball back. This is going to be a throw-in opportunity here for Northern York. Big throw in front of Northern. And Evan Albright trying to clear it away, not very far deep. This is Ethan Dodson. Pass it to Grant Bowles. We'll see if West Perry can do something here. And pass gets intercepted by Logan Bruner. This is a good opportunity for Ian Hall. Hall passes it back to Patterson. good shot here gets blocked by Josiah Twig. Northern looking for an opportunity. This is Soyson. And Soyson with a sliding pump, probably looking for a penalty kick, and that could have been if it was a foul. But it's a goal kick here for the Mustangs. We are halfway through the second half. Who would I ever saw this coming? 0-0. Northern York, a very high scoring offense. Outscoring their opponents 58-4 in 9 games. And who can say they were held scoreless halfway through the second half? Northern York looking to do something about that. But this West Prairie defense has done fantastic throughout this game against one of the unbeaten in District 3. This is Grant Bowles. Pass it back to Johnny Clegg. That ball gets away from Johnny Clegg, and Clegg gets tackled, and that's going to be a free kick for West Prairie.
Let's go, West Perry! Come on, Green!
Great opportunity here for West Prairie to finally get on the board. Evan Albright with a free kick. It's a low one, and that goes back to Albright.
Nobody drop.
This is Maddox Davies. Maddox with a shot, and that gets easily saved by Rackenbach. Good opportunity there for Northern York. There was nobody in front of that net. It's an easy save for Rackenbach. This is Grant Bowles. Also with a spin around move. And that ball gets tipped by Ashton Davies. West Prairie able to get the ball back here. That's stopped up for Garrett Bartlow to keep that in bounds. And we got a bunch of substitutions coming in now. Northern York coming in with 5 new substitutions here. And West Prairie bringing in 2. Throwing here for West Prairie coming up. Aiden Romano comes in. I'm trying to figure out all these substitutions that just came in for Northern York. Aiden Romano was one of them. This is Soyson. Pass to Garrett White. And a shot! And that ball gets away from Rackenbach and back to West Prairie possession. Here's Bartlow. Bartlow get past there by Padilla. And gets stopped by Ian Hall, who just came back in for Northern York. This is White. Even Dodson, I think that was one of the 2 substitutions, just came in for West Prairie. This is Zach French, who just came in for Northern York. Let's see, 5 substitutions for Northern York. And it's off, and it does! Northern York is finally on the board. And just like that, it's 1-0, Northern York.
Hey, Green, get that back.
Spencer Sifferling, the senior captain for Northern York, scores the 1 goal, and it comes with less than 15 minutes left in the second half. We knew this. We knew Northern York was going to come back eventually, and we knew this wasn't going to be a scoreless tie, even though it was for most of the game up until now. Spencer Sifferling with the goal for Northern York. Here is Sifferling. Sifferling took it. Big shot. to get that goal. That was almost like 25 yards out. And it was a missile right into the net. Reichenbach never had a chance. Throwing here for Westbury. That ball goes out after Aiden Romano gets it out. This is James Frank with the throw-in, looking for Dodson. Dodson passes to Bartlow. And Bartlow takes a shot. And Norfolk York is going to have a throw-in and another substitution for the Polar Bears. This is number 17, Bennett Coleman. Throw-in here for the Polar Bears. Pass it down to Silverline. Good looking attack for Ashton Davies. And cleared away by the Mustangs. The Mustangs only had one shot on goal in this entire game. The Northern York Polar Bears, despite only being down by one. Here's a good shot for Connor Swope. And a nice save there by Reichenbach. Swope was all alone with Reichenbach. A one-on-one opportunity, and it gets saved by Reichenbach. Throwing coming up now for Northern York. This is Coleman. He's forced to throw it back. Back here to Ian Hall. Back to Silverline. Silverline with another room in front of him. He passes it to White. Garrett White. Cross here, and that's the second goal here for Northern York. Connor Swope, the other team captain for Northern York. And with 12 minutes exactly left on the clock, Northern York has turned this game around. It's now 2-0 in favor of the Polar Bears. So it was an exciting game throughout. Scoreless tie, but very quickly here in 3 minutes, the Polar Bears have a 2-0 lead. 2 goals in less than 3 minutes for Northern York, and West Prairie are going to do something here. But West Prairie hasn't been able to get off anything, and here's a good opportunity for Northern York. And Josiah Twig is forced to kick it out for a Northern York corner kick here. 11.5 minutes left here in the game. Unless if West Prairie can manage to score 2 goals here, that's corner opportunity, and that gets past everyone for a Northern York throw-in. Or not, or calling it a West Prairie throw-in, excuse me. Right here looking for Garrett Bartlow, gets stopped there by Bennett Coleman. Back to Silverline. Silverline back to Swope. Swope with a shot, and that goes wide of the net. Both senior captains, Spencer Silverling and Connor Swope, each scoring a goal for the Polar Bears. Nice tackle there by Dante Padilla, but he's going to get called on that. Connor Swope gets the free kick call for Northern York. Pass here to Ashton Davies. That gets cleared away. Back Coleman. And North York is forced to bring it back. Good defense there by Grant Balls. Slip and fall here by Westbury. That was Dante Padilla. Back to Johnny Clegg. Good defense shown here by Trace Briesinger. Nice clearance there by Josiah Twig. North York shot gets blocked there by Albright, and Albright passes it to Johnny Clegg, and Clegg's pass gets intercepted by Coleman. Well, thank everyone at home for watching here on the Westbury Athletic Department's YouTube page. It was a very exciting matchup for most of this game for those who are just joining us. It was a scoreless tie, but just almost 5 minutes ago, Northern York scored 2 goals in 3 minutes, and the undefeated Polar Bears, usually a high-scoring offense, being held down to 2 goals by Northern York, one of the highest-scoring offenses in the state. We'll be looking for more. North York is also looking for a season sweep against the Mustangs. Earlier this season, the Mustangs fell on the road at Dillsburg as the Polar Bears won 3-0 in that game. Here to Romano. Pass back to Garrett White, and Romano with a shot, and that goes high. An easy save here for Reichenbach. 7.5 minutes left here in the second half. Reichenbach with a huge kick, and Grant Balls with possession. Swing and a miss here by Grant Balls. Turnover here for the Mustangs, but the Mustangs are able to get it right back. That was Bryce Turrock, pass it to Johnny Clegg, and once again, Northern York outrunning the Mustangs. This is Garrett White. Ashton Davies, and Davies pass almost got the ball back, and that's going to be a throw for Northern York. Throwing here for Bennett Coleman. Passed it to White. And a sliding tackle there by James Frank, but it's going to be a throw-in for the Polar Bears. Off the head of Clegg, Johnny Clegg. Nice stop there by Swope. Swope running upfield, and he falls down, looking for a foul. He doesn't get it. And that ball gets past the legs of Ashton Davies. And Davies back with the ball. He takes a shot, and easy save here for Reichenbach. Reichenbach, another big kick past midfield this time. Looking for Grant Balls. And here's Garrett Bartlow. Bartlow passes it to Evan Albright. Albright with a long cross looking for Bryce Turrock, and that goes off the head. A little too deep of a cross for Garrett Bartlow. Throw in here for Northern York. Here come the Polar Bears again. North New York has been outstanding throughout this entire game. They've only given up one shot on goal. That was shot by Dante Padilla early in the second half. Westbury only had one chance to score. And all because the Polar Bears have dominated on possession. A couple times the Mustangs have had a couple good runs to get on the other side of the field, and that's got to be a free kick for the Polar Bears. And it comes with 4.5 minutes left here in the game. Northern York is up by 2 goals. And if this score holds up, this will be their 6th shutout in 10 games for the Polar Bears. A very low scoring affair. Northern York has only given up 4 goals all season. Shot here, that was Ashton Davies. It was all alone right in front of that, in front of Rackenbach. That ball goes wide for a Westbury goal kick. See, Rackenbach would look for another deep kick here. He does. It's a low one this time. That gets past Evan Albright. Northern York could be a very heavy favorite for the rest of the season, including in the District 3 playoffs. Coming up in just a few weeks here, ladies and gentlemen. This season's quickly winding down. Northern York is just one of 3 undefeated teams in District 3 AAA rankings. Susquehannock and Lower Dauphin are the other 2, and those 3 teams respectively are in the top 3 in the AAA District 3 power rankings. And the top 8 this year go to the AAA playoffs. Johnny Clegg here. And stopped there by Evan Albright. That gets intercepted well by Aiden Romano. And Albright here with the ball. Oh, no, excuse me, this is Dante Padilla. There's Ashton Davies. Good shot at goal just a few moments ago. This is Trace Graysinger. Pass it to Craig, and Trace Graysinger back with the ball. And stopped in a strike by Aiden Troutman. Just 90 seconds left here in the game, and Northern York has looked like they are going to remain undefeated. They will improve to 9-0-1. Their one tie was just this past Monday on the road against Hershey. For the Mustangs, they will drop down to 3-8-2 overall, and 2-5-2 in the Mid-Penn Colonial Division. The Polar Bears will remain perfect, 9-0 in the Mid-Penn Colonial Division action. Johnny Clegg with the ball. And that's going to be a throw in here for the Mustangs. That comes with 40 seconds left here. To Bryce Turok from Johnny Clegg. Johnny Clegg looking for the ball back, and once again, Northern York has just been dominant in terms of defense and on offense as well. On offense, on defense, on possession, everything. Northern York has just dominated this game, ladies and gentlemen. And that is going to be it. One final shot here for West Prairie. That gets away. And almost a mistake there by Josh Hoffman. Almost had some excitement here, ladies and gentlemen, here in the final seconds, but the final whistle blows. That was the second shot on goal in this game. That came from Garrett Bartwell. So that's going to be it here from Mustang Stadium. Northern York Polar Bears remain undefeated as they improve to 9-0-1 overall and a perfect 9-0 in the Mid-Penn Colonial Division. West Prairie drops down to 3-6-2 overall and 2-4-2 or 2-5-2, excuse me, in the Mid-Penn Colonial Division. The next matchups for both teams. The Mustangs will have a bit of a break as their next game will be on Thursday, October 22nd. They will be on the road as they will take on the Big Spring Bulldogs over at Newfield. That game will start at 7 o'clock. For the Northern York Polar Bears, they'll return home to Dillsburg on Tuesday, October 20th, as they will take on the Shippensburg Greyhounds. That game will start at 6:30. Our next broadcast here on the West Prairie Athletic Department's YouTube page will be this Tuesday, October 20th. We'll have girls volleyball back at the high school gymnasium as they will take on the Northern York Polar Bears in girls volleyball. That is our next broadcast on Tuesday. Game is scheduled to start at 6:15. So from all of us here, on behalf of Athletic Director Ryan Anderson, our public address announcer Matt Rudy, I am Alex Wall. Thank you for joining us here in Mustang Stadium on the West Prairie Athletic Department's YouTube page. Your final score in this one: Northern York Polar Bears 2, West Prairie Mustangs 0. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, everyone.